boiler cover from British Gas, sponsors of Property on 4.
Many of us dream of our forever home, a place where we can lay down roots and act as an anchor for family life. But when family life changes tragically, how do you deal with a house containing a lifetime's worth of memories? Karen and her husband Andy found a forever home in Harlow in 1986. For Karen, it was love at first sight.
We viewed the house at least 3 or 4 times before we bought it, but that wasn't because I needed to be convinced. It was just I just kept wanting to see it. So I kept making excuses to come back.
After raising their 2 children in this home, Karen and Andy were looking forward to their retirement together. Sadly, Andy passed away in 2008, and Karen had to rethink her future.
Every day I go to work, I drop my dog off at a dog sitter. On the way to the dog sitters, somebody's got a Land Rover in their drive, and written on the side of the Land Rover is "One Life, Live It." Now I'm sure that's because they do extreme sports, which I don't. But I kept seeing this every morning and thinking, "One life, live it, one life, live it." Do you know, that's so true? And I just decided to do it. I've been going to Wales for several years now. I've fallen in love with a village that I stay in. I've got to know it, I've got to know the locals. It felt the right time to let this house go.
Karen's bought a cottage 250 miles away in the Welsh coastal village of Cross Inn.
My children think I'm having a midlife crisis, and there may be an element of that. This was the home we wanted to raise our family in. The one I'm moving to is the home I want to grow old in. I'm going to build up a relationship with another house. It has been very emotional, particularly starting to pack and going through things. Clearing the attic was a very emotional day. There was stuff up there that brought back a lot of memories. It's actually good for me to do this because each time I go through one of those emotional things, I feel like I've then put it to bed and I'm clearing myself and my mind ready for the move. I will miss this house, I will. My favourite room is the sitting room because it has the huge picture window that looks out. It brings the garden in, as the estate agent said when we bought the house. I'll be reading a book, watching the TV, or just sit and chill with my dog. I am taking one plant from the garden, just one, because that came from my mum's garden. She got it in memory of my dad, and every time I went out in the garden and looked at it, I thought, no, I really can't leave that, I've got to take it. So we dug it up and planted it in a pot, and hopefully it'll survive. The most difficult room to dismantle has been Andy's hobby room. Andy was a railway enthusiast, not a train spotter, as a railway enthusiast, and collected model railways and also model soldiers. Having suffered these collections over many years of marriage, we decided to have an extension built to accommodate them. This room had everything that a man could want. It had a beer fridge, it had a television, it had a stereo, it had a kettle, everything. In fact, for a short period, we had 2 radios so that I could speak to him, because otherwise I never spoke to him. So he'd sit in there with his little radio on, and I'd have mine in the kitchen, and I'd say, "Do you want a cup of tea?" And that's how we communicate, and it's only over there, the room. When I first lost him, I couldn't go into the room. In fact, for years, I wasn't able to go into the room at all. It just remained locked. So dismantling that, packing those things away, has been hugely painful, and still is, because we've not finished it yet. I believe that houses store energy. Sounds all very spiritual, and I'm not, but I think houses absorb the feelings that are in them. What I think we've given to this house is that we were a very happy, loving, cohesive family unit, and we laughed a lot. In fact, our saying as a family was live, laugh, love. We lived well, we loved lots, and we laughed often. It's a suburban house on a suburban estate, built in the 70s. It's a square box, but it's absorbed what my family was. It's just full of all the good things that a family can bring to something, especially a family that loved each other so much. The people that are buying the house have also fallen in love with it. They've been back several times to see it. It's history repeating itself, and that's actually comforting. It's comforting to think that I'm handing the keys to someone who's going to love the house as much as I have.
Karen's definitely created the exact family home that we're kind of hoping for here. This is hopefully our forever home.
Karen told us about her family life in this house, and it fitted everything that we was looking for.
She said something really lovely, which is, oh, God, I wish you could be our friend. It would be lovely if you were our friend. And I think I am their friend, and I think I will remain their friends. This house is so good. It's been amazing. But it is my time to move on now and continue to live my life in a different way. I'm letting go. Well, the house is letting go, actually. And I'm going to open the next chapter of my book and be somewhere else.